how Stan and I met was up at Big Birch Lake in Melrose, Minnesota. He was with his best friend, and I went up to the cabin every summer with my best friend, and her name was Jane, and his friend's name was Bob. And we went up to play capture the flag one night, and there was a whole bunch of kids that we used to play with, and so we played the game. And after the game was over, I don't remember anything about the game, but after it was over, it was time to go home, and my girlfriend and I had the farthest place to walk home. Stan was with us walking because he had to go off to where his road that he had to take down to his resort. And he said, "See you later." And I said to myself, I'm going to marry him someday. And then we kind of hung out together during the summer because he was with Bob and I was with Jane, and John and Jane were dating. And so Jane and Bob asked Jane to go to the fair, and so Jane and I got together and said, tell Bob that you won't go unless Stan takes Jane.
We went to the fair, and sometime during that day, it was a long day, I started thinking, she's pretty nice to be with. She's pretty cool. I mean, she was really nice to be with. And when we were on the Ferris wheel, I did one of these. And this was really brave of me, but we're on the Ferris wheel, I did one of these like, like so. Never touched her, just put my arm on the back, but I thought, yes.
And all the rides we went on, they put another kid in there with us. We went on the Tilt-A-Whirl and they put a little boy in between us.
That was great.
And and then we went into the Tunnel of Love, which I never even thought of anything about the two of us. But they put a little kid in there with us too.
Thank you, Lord. I was really, but we went horseback riding, and again I thought, it'd be pretty nice to do it.
So we were an item after that.
So we're an item after that, yeah. 8th grade.
This was our first dance. It was the homecoming dance at De La Salle back in 1956.
Yeah.
And prom. Holy Angels. Prom 1 year. This was senior year, I think. That must have been junior year.
Yeah. And back, I took leave from the Navy.
I made him wear his uniform. And there he is again.
Graduating from the Navy.
And this was Joni's baptism. And there's Beth and Joni.
Little Joni. And Joni was awake most of the night.
This was Stan's 30th birthday. We had a sign up in front. Stan Hammerski is 30 today. We got married on August 5th, 1961, and we went to the Black Hills on our honeymoon. And because Papa is such a good record keeper, who's always doing journals, he journaled our honeymoon and every penny we spent. Well, the total came to, for 1 week, was
Black Hills.
Was $124.19.
Fuel was 29 cents a gallon.
Yeah. Well, for breakfast one day we spent 82 cents.
How about that? Yeah.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, but it was fun, and so much fun to read all these, and we have the little book right.
We have a picture of our Volkswagen. Our first automobile as a married couple was, I think it's over here someplace, but I looked here. This was the Navy. It was a 61 Volkswagen, just a beautiful car with a sunroof. Our parents that raised us were, and the effect they had on our lives was dramatic. My mother and father were very, again, strict people. Mm-hmm. If you don't work, you don't eat. They learned that from their parents, who came from Poland. I believe all the hard work that my grandparents showed towards their children, they passed on to us. Again, I watched this and observed this, and I know that if it's going to be, it's up to me. And I think that's what has really pushed me through my life to many, many successes. So I thank my parents. I'm very blessed to have two strong parents who were disciplined, disciplined me, and I heard a lot of nonsense being a young lad from my mother. Wait till your father gets home. That was the drill.
My childhood was wonderful. I was born in 1941. My mom and dad were great parents and raised us knowing what was right and wrong. However, when Stan and I were dating, and of course I was 14 when we started dating, and when he came home on leave in the service, the night before he went back, we always stayed out a little late. We never had a curfew. We always were told that we knew when it was time to come home. Well, that night, I of course stayed out later because we didn't want to leave each other. So when I was 16 and 17 and 18 years old, I was called a 16, 17, 18-year-old snot. But we lived through it.
Yeah.
This is my dad, Grandpa Eckes. He was in the Navy. And Grandma Eckes, my mom.
Yeah, come in. Here's a picture of my
Grandma and
parents.
Grandpa Hammersky.
Yeah. 1938, I suppose.
This is my family. My dad, my mom, me, my sister Marilyn, Patty. Oh, that's good. That's Mike. This is Patty and my little sister Lori.
During high school, as I'd mentioned earlier, I had no clue of what I wanted to do. And it seemed like everybody else knew exactly what they wanted. The guys I hung around with on Harriet Avenue in South Minneapolis, all my buddies and so on, they were all going to college. One was going to St. Thomas, the others were going to University of Minnesota, and were encouraging me to join one of them or two of them or three of them to go to St. Thomas or the university. And yet I had no idea what I wanted to pursue. So another friend of mine, we decided to go in the service, partly because he was always getting in trouble, and he was in front of a judge one time, and the judge said, "You're going to the service or you're going to jail." Mm-hmm. So he was going in the service, and he said, "Why don't you go with me?" So not to jail. The Navy was chosen because my next door neighbor, who had been in the Navy and was home on leave at one time, was telling us that he thought it was the best duty, yada, 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 and that to be at sea was a kick, and the best duty would probably be an aerial photographer. So in the Navy, my friend and I, Harry, went to basic training in Great Lakes, Illinois, and so on. I started applying for aerial photographer. Had to learn how to spell that also. From there, and I graduated. I was able to go to aerial photography school at Naval Air Station in Pensacola, Florida, which was just great. I met some close friends and one who I still live in contact with. I think what it taught me was self-assurance that if you're going to do it, you can do it. And it taught me to grow up. It taught me to find myself. I was coming out of my shell, so to speak, because I was not shy anymore. I met some great guys. And this is August 5th, 1960. If you look at the marriage book, 1 year to the date, probably to the hour, August 5th, 1961. Real cameras in my flight suit, and you would just strap these things on. My Navy days, when you're down in Guantanamo, some pictures of us naked around. This was me with having some fun with rubber cement and some cotton balls. This one I just put a piece of glass against my face.
Hello, I'm Stan Hammersky with important news from Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now you can get Colonel Sanders' famous chicken at new low prices. 3 assortments for under $1.
One enjoyable part of my job with KFC, they selected certain markets. Minneapolis was a strong market. It was just a good market, and made me look good to a point where it was so good that they promoted me and sent me to Detroit. And Detroit's everything you heard it to be, but that's not the fun part. It was a rewarding part. They decided to have selected certain general managers become the spokesperson for their TV ads when they would roll out a new product or something. And so I was honored to be the spokesperson for Minneapolis, and we have some copies of a few ads, or probably 30 different ads that were run. I think we have like 4 that we captured, but they would send me to San Diego, the NBC studios in San Diego, to film these commercials. And at that time, they had rolled out a new product with Colonel's Crispy Chicken. So they had two types of chicken. Colonel's Extra Original and it's Extra Crispy. And they would fly me down first class. I'd stay down for maybe about 3 days filming. The first day was introductions and so on and so forth, and then the actual filming and so on. And I learned a lot about how these productions are put together with the blue screen or the green screen, and how they can put together several scenes and in a huge building. But that was fun. I became somewhat of a celebrity, unthinking of it, but people recognized me all around and so on. And many times I'd be someplace and they'd say, "Oh, you're the Chicken Man." Yes, I'm a Chicken Man. So it kept me honest.
Joni and Kathy.
Yeah, Joni and Kathy, and obviously
Well, Beth,
younger
Joni,
years.
Kathy's not in here.
Yeah. Well, Kathy's in that.
Yeah.
Was there, but we didn't even know she was there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But there she is. There's our 3 little cherubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful
Yeah.
little girls.
Yeah.
Lots of
Sweethearts.
fun years with those girls.
Yeah. We were in
Middle school.
Detroit.
Beth's her graduation picture.
Yeah. So
And Joni's graduation picture and Kathy's graduation picture.
when they grow up.
I think Beth was in college. And the kids were still in high school. Okay.
My favorite thing about my bride is her kind heart and her laughter, her giving. She's so friendly, and our daughters get. Our daughters are a kind of the acorn from this oak tree. She's loving. She's a good partner, good business partner, good marriage partner, a good cook, and paid for. And both our oars are in the water at the same time. We seem to be going in the same direction, same cadence. It takes a while to learn that, but I think we've accomplished that. I always call her my bride, and people get a kick out of that, but some say, "Oh, how long have you been married?" And we tell them, well, 60 plus years. And she's my bride.
What I like about Stan is he's kind, he's thoughtful, he's so good with counseling people. I mean, he's always helping people, and he's a wordsmith. He knows how to talk to people and how to make them feel comfortable and how to make me feel comfortable. And he's loving. He shows his love and affection to me, and he thanks me for every meal that I prepare. He thanks me for. And he was so shy. That's what I liked about him in the beginning, but he got over that, and I love his personality. He makes me laugh. He's a good man. He's a really good man.
Thank you. Marriage is like a garden. You've got to, the day you're married, it's like you're in the arboretum. It's perfect and everything is just beautiful and so on. But you've got to maintain it every day. You've got to take out the weeds, critters and weeds and so on will come in and try to invade your sanctuary. And it takes constant effort to keep that garden clean and pure and good. Yeah. We're gardeners. Well, they say the secret to a good marriage is to find the right person. And it's been our thinking, our discovery that the secret to a great marriage is being the right person. And I think that's what we do. We're partnership and
Right. Yeah, and I agree with everything you said, but to me, joy, cry, is just, it's just when I see you when I'm not expecting to see you, and my goodness.
yeah.